On today's IJDM, we take a look at the IBM 380D.
Another visitor. Stay a while. Stay forever.
Well, let's get right into it. This is the IBM 380D, released around 1996, 97, maybe made 96, released in 97, maybe even 98. It's hard to tell sometimes from what you read online, just because there was so many different models. You had the 380ED, you had the 380D, you had the 380XD. There was just so many different models of just one, and they could be all slightly different and even different builds. And believe me, I'm going to get this out of the way right now because I know you can hear them. The doves were completely quiet until about a minute before I got started. Not a peep out of them. I said, this is a good time to do a video, but hey, that's the way we roll on IJDM. If we don't have dove noises, then it's not an IJDM video, is it? On this side, we got our PCM CIA card slots. We have the eject buttons here. Handy dandy locking thing. Did anybody actually ever really use these? Maybe if you had on display somewhere. We have an IR port. We have our power button here. We had some damage done to the hinge in shipping, which I did not appreciate, but I was able to get it epoxied back on and dabbed it up a little bit. I also had a little bit of a hinge issue here, but I've done the best with it I can, so hopefully it holds up better than my other 365 XD machine. Got a little vent right here. We have the keyboard / mouse connector, which does require a special adapter if you want to use a keyboard. I do have one of those Y adapters I keep on hand. And we have our power port. Next to that, over on this side, we have serial connection parallel and your standard VGA port. That is pretty much it for the back. And I'm not sure if there was a cover that fit over this. I can't see if there's actually anything that indicates there was. You would think there would be, just the way it's inside like that. Over to the side, we have headphone jack. We have a connection, which I've always wondered why, a microphone connection. We have a very odd connection. It almost looks like it would take a standard RCA jack input. So maybe we will test that in theory, but nah, I don't think we will because it doesn't look like, but it's just weird the way this port is different. It's like that on a lot of IBM ThinkPads of the era. Maybe it was just another type of connector you could get, a headset or something. Anybody knows, make a comment because I'm interested in that. We have our volume control here, and then we have something unique to these 380, which I will say this is a chunky laptop. It probably should have laid off the candy bars, but to fit all of this in, you had to make it extra wide because you have a CD-ROM and you have a floppy drive, which I just noticed it looks kind of wonky the way it sits in here. Along front, just your release hatches, so nothing to see there, and some indicator lights that come through on the top to tell you your charging and power and so forth. So let's go ahead and plug this back in. It does actually work. Oh, we didn't cover the bottom. I know. Okay, we'll cover the bottom. On the bottom, we have access to your BIOS battery, and which has been replaced, and then also your battery pack, which I believe this is a lithium ion, or is it not? I am not really sure because this battery is so weird to take out. I don't like this mechanism at all, and it's just weird the way it... Can it come out? Maybe. There we go. This is actually a battery of some sort, L-ion. Yeah, there it is right there. Surprisingly, this battery still works. So I don't know if this is a newer replacement for this laptop or just didn't get used enough to run it dry or whatever you want to say, or run it dead. We'll flip this right back around again and put that right back in place. Let's plug this in. Right on there. Yep. Okay. Let's keep the camera kind of tilted down. On this one, okay, we got our indicator lights here, various statuses, tells you scroll lock, noom lock, hard drive access, audio, power, charging, blah, 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 good fun. I think this is just another vent. It is not a speaker. The speaker's actually here in the front. On some models, I think there's speakers right here, and then I think I've seen a few where they're actually on the, but it may be a different model that I saw a picture of that was just bundled in with the 380 picks. And if I call this a 360, I mean 380. It is a 380. And then you get your brightness control up here on the screen. This keyboard, IBM, what did you do? I mean, it feels halfway between like the IBM 365 and 755 series keyboards, but then it feels like it started going toward the compact keyboard, which, it's like, hey, come over here for a minute. Look at this. A good strike. It feels good. I mean, I can actually type fast on that keyboard, but it's just like, whoops. It was just, just had to get that out. The keyboard is just, I don't know. Maybe it's just the angle because it's up higher. Maybe if I was, I don't know. Anyhow, I mean, it's not like I'm going to be writing out a novel on this or anything like that. So let's go ahead and tilt this up. There we go. We got enough screen? Yeah, let's move this a little closer. So when we turn it on, we can see it in all its glory. You can see all those little lights go on. Complete original Star Trek series thing with flashy, blinky lights. And I do have the screen stretch mode enabled just because I use most of these, like you know, in DOS mode and for DOS gaming. Which it does have Windows 95 for quicker access to my SD cards and PCMI to SD. Oh, and then here's the funny thing, and maybe I did hit that with my finger. For some reason, anybody knows the reason, why does it keep popping the CD-ROM tray out on me? You wonder why I don't like CD-ROMs? This is one of the issues I have, and I had the same issue with my 365 XD. It keeps popping the CD tray, and you may see it pop a few times while I do this video. And we got our handy-dandy C prompt. Can we see the screen all right? I can see it all right in the camera, so I'm going to assume you can see this all right. And let's just get the Windows part of it out of the way, and then we'll jump back over to DOS. And it still has the original hard drive. I ran tests on it, scan disk, everything checked out. So, and it seems pretty speedy. I mean, I'm happy with it. It's definitely, you know, you can tell it's a regular old hard drive and spinner type, and it's just getting to it. It's not as easy as my other ones. Like, you have to take half this computer apart, including the CD-ROM and floppy drive to get to, I guess the drive is back in here somewhere, but you have to take half the laptop apart to get to it. So I'm like, I'll just use it till it fails or whatever. But I mean, it's ScanDisk showed no errors, no problems, no bad sectors, blah, blah, blah. And we have mystery logo here, which we will, I don't know if you can see it in camera too well. Well, thank you. Did I hit Windows Help? I didn't mean to do that, but there's a mystery icon here. I'm going to be covering that in the very next video, actually. And maybe not. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, but I am going to cover that in one of my videos because I found it very interesting that it actually worked. Okay, in our menu system, you know, I just kind of organize it with just a few things. I basically strip it down so I can fit as much gaming and other types of software than just having Windows 95 take up half the disk drive. So let's go into the properties here. Nothing exciting. 32 megabytes of RAM installed, which is, it's plenty. I mean, I don't really need any more performance. 96% resources free. I don't know if there's actually a thing where it tells you. Well, maybe I'm thinking about Windows 10 here, where it tells you what the actual specs of the computer. I swear it used to say that somewhere in here. Maybe I'm thinking about later Windows 98 version or whatever. Because I think this did come with 98, but let me clear this up. 98 was installed in here, and granted, there might have been a lot of bloatware and just never been defragged in the life of the machine, but it booted slow, and it was just like everything you click on, it was like 5 minutes later. So under a lot of frustration and a lot of figuring out, because this was a lot different than the other laptops I've used, just because I wasn't able to pre-set up the compact flash card, is the fact that I had to basically do all this manually, and I actually installed this Windows version with the floppy disk set, which that is excruciating. It's a lot of floppies. I think there's 32 floppies I had to go through, 26, 28, 32, something like that. It was ridiculous. Anyhow, that is our Windows environment, which we will go back to either in a part 2 of this same laptop, or maybe we'll just do it as a separate video, because it's a 380, it's a retro laptop. There's only so much you can do with it. So let's restart this back into DOS mode and see what we got. See how the audio sounds. And for that, we'll just use the standard old Duke Nukem, because that seems to be one of the benchmarks of some of the other sites that do these videos and this type of thing. So we'll just go into games and we'll go. Yeah. Oh wow, I got it right. And then I think it's already set up. So what was the execution command? I think it's just Edge 3D. And this part seems a little slower, but it's all right. I'm not in a hurry when I have time to sit down and play a game that I'm usually not in a. Okay, I'm not in a big hurry when I'm gaming, so. Okay, it could be louder. No? If it's any louder, it'd blow the speaker. Hold the video for a minute. You know what? Enough of games. I'm not great at them. And this video is going nowhere. So let's do what I initially planned on doing with a retro laptop, and that is with this. This is a Ethernet card that was included with one of the packages, and after a lot of searching, I found the drivers for it. Unfortunately, finding drivers for DOS stuff is incredibly hard, and for some reason I gotta get this in the lower PCMCI because the upper one doesn't want to work. So we'll give that a second to recognize, and then yes, we're gonna go back into Windows. Why? Well, I can't get the DOS drivers to work, and I don't know if it even has DOS drivers. It would be nice, but it's okay because we can pretend to be in DOS while also being in Windows. Okay, wasn't that quick? No, I obviously jump cutted that. Okay, so the icon in the beginning, I said it was a mystery icon. Well, it's not really a mystery, it's Lynx. And what Lynx allows us to do is go onto the internet, old school. Yes, in full-on glorious just text. That's it. No graphics, no nothing. And that's what Lynx did. If you had an old, some of you may remember when you dial up, you would use different programs that would dial in, and then you use either Lynx for email, or I think there was one called Pine for, or Lynx for surfing the net, and then there was one called, I believe, Pine for actually checking your email, and all text-based. So you can search, I have this tuned into a site called The Old Net. I think it's called theoldnet.com, everybody's interested. But it does allow you to surf because this does not have the newer HTTPS protocol, which most sites require now. So in order to get around that, you can obviously use this site and actually play around with the old browser and see what these pages look like in that respect. So let's try the IBM Thinkpad 380 and let's go ahead and search Wikipedia. Okay, we got some results. So let's scroll down here. Wow, this is like, it's so weird. It brings me back. There it is, the IBM Think, and this is on the internet. I mean, Thinkpad 380, whatever. Lifespan from 1997 to 1999, discontinued in June of 1999. Floppy disk, CD, DVD. These came with a DVD option. It must be the later models did. And then USB again for the later models. Space for next page. Operating systems, 95 OSR, Windows 98, Windows NT, and the different CPUs. So it came in 150 and then eventually up to 300 megahertz. That's 233 to 300. I guess it's like some kind of turbo thing, or that's interesting. Or just max speed. It's weird. Memory, nothing interesting there. And then all the different types of screen, the TFT, the HPA, the RF STN, and DSTN. They did have 640 by 480 models. I believe those are the harder ones to find. I did find a couple on the internet, and I do have my 755, which I was thinking about selling, but I'm gonna hold off for now. The screen just stopped working, and there's something with the video card. Again, I think it's something with the caps. And this just tells you different screen sizes, so we can keep going. So the IBM Thinkpad 380 was a notebook computer series released in May 13th, 1997 by IBM as part of their Thinkpad laptop series. Notable for CD-ROM and floppy drive, considered mid-range. Okay, yeah, these mid-range are well constructed. And a successor to the IBM Thinkpad 365, which, and they did not do a keyboard improvement on this one. And I can actually read, and obviously you go on Wikipedia right now, you'd see the same thing, but it looked different. You may see some pictures on the side, but this would be the DOS version of that page. And what it would look like, basically unformatted to newer computers. So it's basically just your raw text. And you can go to different links in here. I don't know how well that works, but we'll try it in a second. This just tells some features, and some different models. The there we go. 380E, ED, XD, and for some reason I don't see the 380D here. Maybe it was just part of, I don't know, weird. Maybe they just didn't add it, because I know this is user base. So let's try to go to Windows XP. Let's see what happens. It says bad something or other, but I was able to jump to something pertaining to Windows XP, and it's taking forever to load because it is incredibly slow with this. It says it's a 10100, but it's just slow. Incredible. Yeah, okay. Well, that's it for that. I mean, let's go back to our main screen here. Do we want to? Yeah, sure we do. What else can we search for? We can search the archives. Okay, let's try IBM Thinkpad 3 in the archives section. Don't really have anything. I'll try that site. Is this like Russian and it's just unformatted? Oh, interesting. Well, on that note, this is the IBM Thinkpad. CD-ROM again. Keeps popping open. No reason. Anybody knows why or what I can do to shut that off? I checked multiple options. I cannot figure out how to disable it unless I take half the laptop apart and unplug the stupid thing, but it's just like, it's annoying when you try to do something, you pop, clicks open. But that is the IBM 380D notebook laptop computer from the late 1990s. We'll go out on my original thought with the music right about now. We'll go out on that note. PCMI to SD. Oh, and then here's the funny thing, and maybe I did hit that with my finger. For some reason, anybody knows the reason, why does it keep popping the CD-ROM tray out on me? Okay. Oh. I didn't touch it. It just opened. What? Stay closed. I'd play a meaty song, but... Oh, see? What? Stop. It thinks I want a CD or some reason. I don't have a CD to give it.